Boom, be-da-doom, boom, 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 boom. Ba-doo-doo-doom, ba-doo, ba-doo. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-doo-doo, ba-doo, boom, boom. Girl, you're looking sweeter now. Mm-mm. You got it every day. Ba-doo, ba-doo, boom, boom. Wish that I could love you now. Do-do-do-do. In a special way. Ba-doo, ba-doo, doo, doo. You blow my mind, you blow my mind. I'm so alive, I'm so alive. You blow my mind, blow my mind. I'm satisfied. Outstanding. This is an outstanding coin, guys. Doo doo. Girl, you knock me out. These girls right here really knock me out. Ba-doo-doo-doo, boom. Excited. You know I'm excited about these coins. What's up? Makes me want to shout. Good morning, fellow billionaires. A little bit of Gap Band for you there. Trying to put it out there. Just telling you that I am glad to be back. So glad to be back. It's good to be back, guys. So, good morning, fellow billionaires. This is Silver 5150 with your morning update. Yes, on Monday, August 17th, 2020. Yes, it is good to be back, guys. I took some time off to reset my life a bit, and it's going to make a huge difference here coming in the few days and weeks ahead that we're going to see a lot of excitement in the markets. And you know what else is going to make a big difference in the coming days and weeks? This wealth cycle that we're headed into, guys. The wealth cycle we're headed into is going to be like being in a small sailboat in a tsunami. It's going to toss us all over the place. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be tragic a little bit, but mostly fun. Okay? All right. Now, if you recall my earlier videos, I always talk about volume stacking and how volume makes a difference in your stack. Okay. It is true. All right. I always say that 10 ounces to your name puts you 99% ahead of the game. Right. But you still need to stack every gram you can. It's imperative that you stack every gram that you can. I use a gram increment because it's the smallest increment for silver. But you stack every gram you can because every gram, every 10th ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce, all these different increments, they're a little miniature bank just waiting to absorb goo gobs of runaway debt. We've got it in spades. Runaway debt in the form of derivatives, all these crazy bank instruments out there, and transforming those toxic banking instruments into unlimited purchasing power. That is the purpose of silver. The purpose of silver is to make money honest. If it's dishonest, to turn it into honest money, to turn it into honest purchasing power. But you have to have the asset in place ready to absorb that toxic energy and transform it ahead of time. You get my drift? That's what I do. So look here. While I was gone, I was just running around. I was just being an observer. I was just observing. I was constantly observing what was happening out there in the general economy, just consuming media when I had a chance. And I made it a point to spend some time talking with many of the fellow stackers out there. All right. Some of my favorites out there, I'd either comment on the videos, watch the videos, or actually talk, one-on-one with them. Did a little Skyping, did a little bit of, the video chatting and stuff, trying to put some stuff together. Now, essentially, we converse and bounce a lot of ideas off each other, okay? Us junior stackers in the community anyway. And the outcome of this, I believe, is we're going to be able to put together a lot better content for you guys, again, in the coming days and weeks. More educational, more digestible for you. All right, and if done properly, it should allow you to take full advantage of the upcoming profit potentials in silver. The profit potentials in silver are just crazy. Let me go ahead and OCD that. That's better. The profit potentials in silver are crazy. I mean, the profit potential in gold is pretty crazy too, but the profit potential in silver is just bonkers. Simply because of its low entry point, price point. Once gold starts to get in the areas that nobody wants to reach for, they're going to look down, they're going to see silver, and whatever's left, they're going to go scraping the shelves. That's why it's important that we get the stuff we want right now, because we want to make sure that we have all the tools we need in our toolbox, silver-wise, to take advantage of all of the different phases that we're going to go through. Okay, I was talking to Silver Joker last week, I think, about how one would allocate one stack to survive and thrive in a new post-dollar economy. Okay, new post-dollar economy, where credit's not working, ATMs may be working, but the dollars that are in them aren't really desirable to a lot of the vendors and stuff. This is a ways down the road. All right, but you want to thrive in that post-dollar economy. You don't want to just survive it. All right. And my idea was that you would probably or you'd likely section off your stack into thirds. So if you have 30 ounces, you 10 ounces for this, 10 ounces for that, 10 ounces for the other. Now, before I get too far, here's hoping that you've been able to steadily accumulate in the last few months. I hope you guys have. I mean, we've been pounding the table, asking you, begging you, please get out there and buy when it was feasible for you to do so. And I make assertions about stack size with, of course, the 10 ounces to your name again. All right, 99% ahead of the game. Be ahead of that. But that's really just a starting point. I'm not going to joke, guys. This is really just a starting point. And in fact, I might move that goalpost a little bit here as we get down the road. But yeah, the 10 ounces to your name, okay, is the starting point. But it's also intended, again, for you and your family to make it through the door into the new paradigm, out of the harm and the pain and the craziness and the anger, and get through that door, all right, and keep you from falling away while your neighbors might, all right. Now, if you have any misgivings about your neighbors, falling away, or you have misgivings about, your extended neighbors falling away, you always have the opportunity to assume the mantle of stacking ambassador. And that's what a lot of us guys are. A lot of us stackers out there, the guys that have been in the game for a while, the guys that have got the bigger stacks and stuff, and know a little bit about the coins, know a little bit about the markets and all that stuff. We don't know this stuff because we're necessarily fascinated by it. We're fascinated about where things are going, but we're more interested in being able to inform you and tell you and motivate you to get out there and stack too, right? Because you need to survive. In order for us to get through this, everybody needs to have a chance at surviving it and getting through it. And so I'm not saying it's surviving like it's an extinction level event. It's going to be a huge, huge financial setback for so many people. So being a stacking ambassador, if you choose to do that, means that, it's just a fancy way of telling you that you always talk the silver walk. So if you're walking the silver walk and maybe people are, perceptive to it or receptive to it, maybe they're not. But if they are, then hit them. Let them know what's going on. Tell them what's going on. If they seem interested, let them know more. Tell them how they can educate themselves and create another ambassador from your ambassadorship. That's the whole idea. The casual contact we're going to use to get this thing moving mainstream, because silver as money needs to become mainstream. But for now, we have to stay partially hidden, partially private, and this sort of thing to get the word out and not become like a pariah or a movement activist that's a target, this sort of thing, or a person of interest. You don't want to be that. All right, but look here. When you at 10 ounces, all right, this is good as a start. But say you start to head towards 50 ounces, right, or even 100 ounces, because you're starting to see the value of stacking as much as you can. Okay, once you get to 100 ounces, not only can you get through the tough times and reposition yourself nicely in that post-dollar era, all right, you can start to look around and see how you might change things. You can start to get ideas in your head about your local community and stuff. And now look, and when you start to approach, if you start to approach 200 ounces of silver, which is kind of tough to do these days, I get it. All right, but if somehow you're liquidating a part of your 401k, which is what I did, and you're managing to get yourself towards 200 ounces of silver or get to that point, you now have the ability not just to get through the tough times, reposition for the new era, but you also have the ability to be an influence on your community and your extended family's lives, if you choose to, your family's lives or your extended family's lives, and your local community. So yeah, the 200 ounces or more, in your position to do that locally, your position to take global action on issues. Now, this is down the road, okay? This is down the road. When I talk about, doing all these great things with 200 ounces of silver, this assumes that you follow the silver community, everybody that's looking, gawking, checking, trying to find out when the best time is to, exchange or sell to get the most purchasing power for what you need. It has to be under those conditions. The 200 ounces, all right? You are positioned to take action locally or globally because you have the financial might to do that, using it at the right time. Okay. Now I plan on taking global action. Me, Silver 5150. I plan on taking global action in the form of dropping in on whomever will have me at the time around the globe. Right. Visiting with stackers. For close-up spotlights, good times, interviews, chats, all this stuff. I'm just going to be on a plane all the time, going to visit 4 9s or expat or whoever, wherever you guys are at. Doesn't matter if you're Silver Joker in the United States, outside the United States. I'm going to be traveling. My passport's going to get worn out. That is my plan. That is my global plan for change, is just to go around and to actually talk with and introduce the stackers that help get this whole thing going and stuff. That is it. Silver 5150 on location, you know, down in Busan, Korea. Who knows? So look here, I'm South Korea. So the trick is to make sure that you take advantage of the best timing in this market. Like I said, you got to take advantage of the timing in this market in order to, make that 10 ounces or, however many ounces count. And while one person or 10 people or even 100 people can't time the silver market perfectly, the odds go way up when you start to have nearly everyone at every level looking for the best time to sell or the best time to trade or the best time to exchange into a different asset class. The more people you have checking, the better off the results are going to be. It's just like the way we all scour the web in our local areas, looking for the best things and the best times to buy in terms of silver. I mean, look, it's just switching gears, okay? Switching gears from buying to selling or leveraging your purchasing power. I know this method works. I know this method works where everybody's working together to get the information, to get the data out there, because I've taken advantage of so many deals and specials thanks to you guys, and I'm going to continue to do so. All right? You guys are my, go-to for, the latest hotness, okay? The new hotness. Whatever new hotness is, the best deals and stuff. Somebody posted, I think it was, let me see if I can remember here. It was, darn it. Oh, I think it was, ounce and a half. Polar bears, ounce and a half Royal Canadian Mint critters at SD Bullion for the low 40s. And guys, everybody else is, look, $30 spot price, $27 spot price now. $42 for an ounce and a half of 4/9 fine, sovereign minted, theme silver. That's insane. And that was, a great deal. I couldn't jump on it because I've been kind of jumping on too many things lately, but it certainly went around to the community, and I'm sure a lot of people got to take advantage of it. And this is how it works in the buying phase. When it's time to sell, it's going to be the same thing. Every time you turn around, somebody's like, hey, look, there's some really cool property over here for next to nothing. Or, hey, look, here's an opportunity to buy into, a junior startup company that does this or does that and stuff, and you can have a stake in it, and they're really going places. There's all these things to take advantage of, whether you have 10 ounces or 100 ounces or 200 ounces. It's better if you have more. But timing is more important than the actual amount of ounces you have, believe it or not. Because if you can catch the top of a hyperinflationary market with 10 ounces, you could kick the snot out of somebody that's got 200 ounces and missed it by a week. That's how violent hyperinflation can be, especially when it comes to silver, which is the absolute best at absorbing hyperinflation and turning it into good purchasing power. All right, so my recommendation to you is that at the very least, you try to stay in this community to keep track of everything that's going on. Get your 10 ounces in your stack, then do what you can to go beyond it. All right. But the 10 ounces come first. Got to get that 10 ounces. All right. To go beyond. This is a big community. Whether you're listening to corporate level stackers like Hugo Salinas Price, I always get that a little tongue tied. Hugo Salinas Price, Ted Butler, Ron Paul, or Mike Maloney. Yes, Mike Maloney, who is a gold and silver dealer, but he is definitely one of us. Believe it or not, he's putting out the information. He's putting himself at risk. He exposes himself to expose the banksters. Okay. And so I consider him one of us. Or you can check out, us junior stackers that are here sitting on Earth and watching things at ground level, not up in the clouds like the other guys. All right. Or even hang out with, somewhere in the middle with the more senior stackers like International Stacker, Silver Joker, Florida Stacker, Yankee Stacking. You know the guys that really know their stuff, and they have the big stacks, but they're not going to tell you how big. I tell you how big because I don't really have that much information. So that's all I got to go on. It's like, I've got a, sizable stack, but, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, just having fun. Look here, but, do that, listen to the content out there, but do your own research, always do your own research. Okay. And see what you see to assess the signs and the signals, in the world that convey economic instability, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for economic instability. All right. It doesn't matter if you're in Australia or Alaska, the Philippines or Philadelphia. What matters is that we as global stackers, okay, can decipher market activity better as a group than we can as individuals. That's the only thing we got going for us to really, really take this market down. And when I say take it down, meaning take full advantage of it. Everybody has to be watching and everybody has to be sharing the information to do it. So the two things I want to touch on real quick. The first being an observation I made some time ago. All right. And this goes into what I was saying about noticing, economic discourse or economic instability. And that is the diminished inventories at a lot of department stores. I'm still seeing that. Department stores, specialty shops, and grocery stores, starting about a month ago, I started noticing really when I moved into this apartment. Now, initially, when I mentioned this, a lot of my subscribers, they just kind of wrote it off as, it's no big deal. It's just in time delivery and credit. And they're fine, and it's going to correct itself. Well, it hasn't. I haven't seen the correction in that. I haven't seen a correction in that at all. In fact, I've seen the shelves getting a little bit emptier. Okay. That's just what I'm seeing. Okay. So you keep your eyes out in your stores in your neighborhood, especially the big department stores and the big box stores, to see if there is indeed a diminishing drawdown in normal shelved inventories. Okay. These are the things that, like yesterday I was in Marshall's, for example. Marshall's, which is it's kind of like a medium retail chain here in the United States. And they didn't have any bedding. I mean, they did plenty of shelves for bedding because it takes up a lot of space. Didn't have any. Didn't have any bedding. Just weird to me. All right. And then, of course, they were missing a lot of other things, like kitchen supplies and all that. It's just big gaps in the shelving, and, and the clothes racks are kind of thin and just kind of weird. And so you think like, well, maybe, everybody's buying everything. But I think it's more of a credit issue. I really do, because as well, credit and economic malaise, as businesses start to close, they can't provide services, or, maybe trucking slowing down, or maybe, the ability for a retail chain to secure goods and services is limited. And, so that's shown, in their inventories and on their floors and stuff. I don't know. Just keep an eye out, in your area to see if you see anything, and report it, please. Report it in the comments, or, maybe you have your own YouTube channel. Let us know if you're seeing a cycle or a trend taking place. All right. And if we figure out, if it seems or becomes obvious that there is, a durable goods inventory drawdown occurring, I would recommend that we immediately redirect our resources to food and durable goods, even if we feel that we have them covered. And, I've been doing quite a bit of prepping on that. I've got videos on it and stuff. But you know what? When I see that, it looks like things are about to short out, like, before a hurricane or something like that, you see a lot of stores get wiped out, cleaned out and stuff. Yes, I'm going to go grab some more toilet paper. I'm going to go grab some more toothpaste. I'm going to grab some more socks and whatever, these low dollar item things that are durable and necessary. You don't think much about them and stuff. Not so much the leisure goods. I'm not going to grab any more Everclear or any cigarettes or anything like that to use as currency. But, remember, anything of value that has scarcity during a crisis can be used as currency, right? I mean, it can. Let's see if we can get that glare out of there. Yeah, I wish I could do something better with these lights so I can get right on top of these. But for now, we're just going to have to go at an angle. These coins are made very well. They're made very well. A lot of detail in that Britannia shield. I'm really digging it. Anyway, so look, just keep your eyes peeled. And the second thing I wanted to address is that many of your smaller bullion dealers, I'm talking to smaller bullion dealers, and yes, I am biased towards Money Metals Exchange. I do use them quite a bit, but they're definitely one of us. Money Metals Exchange, they're definitely one of us. And if you need more vetting, just listen to their podcast. Money Metals Exchange has their own podcast, their own channel on YouTube, and you listen to Mike Gleason. He's, one of the, founding members, I think, of Money Metals Exchange. He is definitely one of us. They're definitely, our people. All right. They talk about the system, how broken it is, and we just need to understand that these guys, even though they're retailers and sometimes we don't get the best deal from them, they are in our corner and they are fighting the same fight we're fighting. All right. In other words, we need to start understanding that the less corporate types like Money Metals, Hero Bullion, SD Bullion, Bold Precious Metals, Silver Gold Bull, and GoldSilver.com, just to name a few, all right, are in the same fight. We are all in the same fight. What I said will start to make much more sense later once the limitless benefits of your stack start to develop over the next 2 years. Once these crazy numbers start coming in and you're going, 750, 150, what do I do with all this extra? I was like, well, is there a property you like somewhere? And take a look at it. Well, how's your car doing? Get your car fixed. Get a new car. Sort of thing. Once these real, benefits and profits start coming in, because I know it's so easy for a lot of the stacking channels to say, well, silver shouldn't be looked at as an investment. It's a savings and insurance and a hedge. And yes, I understand that. And it does all these different things. But what needs to be understood is it behaves differently at different timelines and different conditions. You feed silver hyperinflation and it becomes it performs better than any penny stock or any crypto out there. You start to feed it hyperinflation and you don't mask it. Our governments, they tend to mask it because they don't want us to believe that, silver is necessary to do that. But trust me, silver can outperform anything on planet Earth, even credit interest. Okay, like I talked about a few weeks ago, when given the right ingredients, given the right nutrients to feed it. All right. So anyway, yeah, this will start to make more sense about paying attention to some of the smaller dealers out there that are talking the talk and walking the walk like we are. Once these benefits and stuff, and once the profits start coming in from your stack, all right, and just keep an eye on this channel, and other channels to find out how to do that. Other channels I'd like to recommend that you listening to. This is something I've done some research on while I was gone. Is a channel called McIlvaney Financial, and it's McLvaney Financial, McIlvaney Financial, and Golden Rule Radio, which I think might be the same group of guys, but they seem to know their stuff quite a bit, and they talk about all kinds of stuff. Now, everything I learned about flipping and leveraging metals against each other to build your stack with fewer dollars, I learned from those last two channels, McIlvaney Financial and Golden Rule Radio. So yeah, that is basically what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. I've been setting up my apartment, getting my resources in order, because once I jump back into working these two jobs, starting today, man, I'm really not going to have a lot of time for much else. Okay, I need to make sure everything else is organized, everything is in order, and continue setting up for the future. So I thoroughly enjoyed my time off, but trust me, I was busy every single day. Like I said, collaborating with some of my favorite stackers, watching their content, listening to their ideas about where we're headed. A great education this last 2 weeks, to say the least. All right? So, all right, guys, that was my, hey, I'm back, guys. I'm back monologue. That was my I'm back monologue, and would like to now tell you about these coins. I've been floating around them, for like the last 20 minutes. But here we have the first edition allegory coins from the Germania Mint. 3 marks a piece, I think, or is it 5 marks? 5 marks a piece. So 5 mark coins from the Germania Mint, which is, like I said, is not a sovereign mint, but it harkens back to when I think it was a sovereign mint back when Germany was Germania, if I'm not mistaken. But so it's a tribute coin, basically a tribute series. Now these, of course, are the Germania Britannia versions, okay? All right, and they're likely only available on eBay or Amazon, but if the retailers do carry them, I can imagine they might be scruffy, or, they're going to carry a really high premium, like $60 a piece or something like that. But, that's, because they are limited mintage. They're 25,000 mintage, I think, for these, or the special blisters, which actually probably I think are 15,000 mintage. And then they've got different sizes, 2 ounces, 5 ounces, and I think even 10 ounces. But once you get into the 10 ounce versions of these things, they start to approach $500. Insane. Glad I got in on these when I did. The broker helped me get those. And guys, real quick about the broker, I'm working on him. Okay, I'm working on him because I think his special talents are going to come in handy, very handy here in the coming, like I said, weeks and months and stuff. And I'm going to see if I can get him to come out of retirement to lend us a hand, because when it comes to looking for deals, he is quite masterful. That's just a quick aside. All right. Anyway, back to the coins. So when I stack these coins, I used to try to have to go after the whole series. But what I found was, and this is going to sound kind of messed up, is that if I load up on the number 1 in a series, I can usually catch up with you guys later that may or may not have the number 1s, but have the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8s, and then we can do a trade. And I'm not one of these guys like, well, I've got the first one, so I deserve a better deal than you've got because you've only got 2 or 3. No, it's across the board. If we're trying to complete, our sets, we complete our sets, 1-to-1, silver, ounce to silver ounce. It's none of this crazy. We don't do that amongst each other in the community. All right, we don't take advantage of each other. Remember, we try to do that, not take advantage of each other. Give each other good value. Take care of each other. All right. So yeah, these are first in series, and so I always do that. I go big time after first in series. Another example are the Celtic deer that came out of APMEX for, I believe it was the Congo or something like that. Chad. Yeah, Chad red deer. Have plenty of those, and I plan to trade into some of the other ones, the oxes and the rabbits and the stuff like that later on, when we are up in the clouds trading our really, really lofty ounces of silver in terms of dollar price or spot price. All right. So yeah, so I buy these first series just to take advantage of the idea of trading up with you guys later on, 1-to-1. So at some point, these giveaways that I'm doing will fizzle, but the trading never will. All right, the trading never will. That's always going to be something that'll be part of our lives. We're going to trade with each other to help each other get the best stuff and the best access we can get out of life when the time comes. All right. So enough yammering about me and the coins and all this stuff. Let's take a quick look at the markets. All right. Stock futures are up right now on news that Asian central banks will present a generous stimulus framework for the region. Looks like the Asian central banks, the People's Bank of China and the Bank of Japan and all these banks are going to come together and they're going to put together some really nice stimulus framework for that region because, like they haven't been doing it already, but whatever. But yeah, so, stock futures are really, really enjoying it right now. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and Russell 2K small caps are all tracking upward about 0.5% in futures trading. Okay, 0.5%, and they may hold on to gains today. They're gonna have to pump out the positive information. Spin the bad news and pump the good news and all that stuff to keep stocks up today because they are up in nosebleed territory. But they may hang on to gains today. But let's be honest. What we're really here for is a look ahead on gold and silver, right? So let's see what we got. Now, the big yellow metal today, gold, the big yellow metal is throwing elbows, like always, looking to regain its former highs and head beyond that magical $2,200 spot valuation. That one that's supposed to break all of the bullion banks. $2,200 spot on gold, $32 on silver spot, okay? And silver, beyond 32, it's going to go to heaven knows where. Gold beyond 2,200, it's never been there before. It's going to go to heaven knows where, okay? So right now, gold is up $13 with a spot price of $19.62, which is not bad. And in fact, it's a good sign as we head into the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter numbers, I can't wait to see how they doctor those. But silver, of course, is again leading the charge, tracking up over 3% to spot $27 plus, all right, which is a far cry from its last week highs of $29.85, almost to 30, but still showing considerable strength under a relentless paper barrage of derivatives being traded against it daily. I mean, they're literally throwing the kitchen sink and the sofa and everything at this metal to keep it under control. The fact is that the COMEX traders have found a sweet spot right now in volumes in trading paper that allow them to hold the silver price in place right now for a time. So that looks like our range right now, in place for a time. But the calls for physical delivery are probably going to see the COMEX shutting down either temporarily or permanently this year due to a default in physical deliverables. Okay? Until then, we continue to stack what we can. And guys, let me be clear. We're at a stage in this market to where any bullion grade silver at this point, I mean any bullion grade silver, as long as it's not counterfeit, okay, as long as it's real, any bullion grade silver, okay, whether it's going to be constitutional, collectibles, or fractionals, all of it is good to stack if the price is right. Now, my preferred range is $3 to $8 over spot, depending on what you're getting. So try to snub less and purchase more at this point, if you can swing it. Because now is the time to build a volume in your stack and thereby subsequently increasing the number of transactions in your stack. We don't talk about that a lot, but it's very important. That just means if you're able to get the same amount of silver weight in fractional form, like say 10/10ths over 1 full ounce, that's the better choice because you want to be able to just transact as multiple times as you can. During the start of the reset, talking about breaking this thing into 3 tiers, during the start of reset, you want to be able to transact locally, then be able to move into paying down debt and making big ticket purchases on things that were out of reach before, okay, with the bigger denominations later, the 1 ounces and the 10 ounces, whatever you got. So that's the strategy I thought about while the dollar continues to take its deep dive into a new 92 handle. The dollar's at a 92 handle today, which means that metals should do pretty good going into the week. Now, again, with silver, it appears to want to get back to its former glory, having been up to $29 plus an ounce last week and possibly head to 30 soon, giving us another opportunity to do a giveaway for $30 spot close on silver, be it this week or next week, what have you. But here on the Silver 5150 channel, we look forward to doing our giveaways, and we look forward to silver giving us something to celebrate. But we'll just have to see how that goes. Like I said, the powers that be, they have found a range that's comfortable enough for them to keep silver in their 20s for a bit, which is good for us to purchase in. This is good for us to purchase in. I doubt we'll ever get back below 20 again. I mean, it's possible, but I think more like 22 or 23 at the lowest. So now I'm talking about a spot. So we still might be in the 30s, for with premiums, all right? But so we'll just need to take advantage of that as best we can. Keep our eyes out for the deals and disseminate those and share those in the community. Now, in my estimation, we have about an 80% chance of moving higher than going lower, which means there's about a 20% chance of going lower. Okay. But remember, even in that, I'm only right about 11% of the time. Okay. Remember, I'm not right very often. Just right about, buy. Okay. Now, I used to be in a camp where I thought we were going to have a big pullback, but there's just been too much physical demand on silver, on physical silver, that would allow the SmackDown success the cartels enjoyed in the past. To give you an example, when I talk about SmackDown success the cartel, the stunt they pulled last year in March, they're requiring, exchanging 300,000 contracts on the day that we got spot silver down to $11.77. Last week, they needed to trade over 1 million contracts, or 5 billion paper ounces of silver, all right, to get the $1.18 discount we had in silver over this weekend. So don't get discouraged. It's all a big game that's coming to an end. Again, I recommend listening to the other content providers out there and do your own research to find out what you think is going on with the markets. Also, let's continue to support each other with the great deals we find out there so we continue to break this market and rebuild it right away. Guys, I'm Silver5150 telling you your stack is not whack and that just 10 ounces to your name keeps you 99% ahead of the game. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you in the next show tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys, for all the wonderful subs, and have a great day. Take care.